Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Business Mastery webinar series. My name is Neil Tricarico, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Tony is so pleased to introduce this program to get you back thriving during these unprecedented times. During this five-part training series, you're going to engage with some of Tony's top business experts and with Tony himself. First up, we have Todd Hartley. And Todd is the CEO of Wirebuzz and five-time Telly Award winner. Todd is the rock star of remote selling, video marketing, and sales optimization through video marketing. In fact, Todd attended Business Mastery Las Vegas in 2019, and from September to February, his business increased its revenue by 76%. Todd and his team have worked with our own sales teams and clients to support them in achieving their video mastery. From booking prospects to understanding attention to prioritizing follow-ups and shortening your sales cycles, Todd has executed with ourselves and our clients to produce their best possible results. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Todd Hartley.
Neil, this is so much fun for me. What a huge honor. I grew up in Los Angeles in the backseat of my grandfather's car. My grandfather always played Tony Robbins audiobooks. In fact, Tony was 25 when his first book came out. I'm 13 years younger. So I was probably 12 years old when I first ran into the force of Tony Robbins, and it changed my life. Like, I'm the dude that you will see walking in the supermarket that's going like this by himself. Yes, because the energy and the excitement is rolling inside of my brain. And I would love, you cannot share while others are participating. I need to flip my screen on and get going for y'all. And here we go. I'm going to break this down. So by the end of this, you're all going to be a video master. Now, one of the coolest things in the world is your products and services and solutions, because they deserve the opportunity to change people's lives. You know, there are people out there right now who desperately need what you provide, but they haven't heard your message explained in the way that they prefer to learn and the rabbit hole journeys they like to go through. In September, I went to Business Mastery. I actually sat next to one rock star business owner or business lead after another. The gentleman sitting to my left in the red shirt, which is my right, is the health minister of Qatar. He's actually the most famous doctor in his country. And we were picking each other's brains, and I started hearing from people as I met them that they grew their business. This is their second time coming to Business Mastery. They grew their business 48%. I heard 110%. And I said to myself, I want to be one of these success stories. This isn't a vacation. This is an opportunity to take a major leap forward in my career. And so I learned as much as I could, but I wasn't prepared for what Tony taught me, because before I knew it, I was like in the middle of an adult mosh pit or something.
Jump around.
And it was like, it was like a rave party without the phone. But I discovered that I got the right level of energy, excitement back in my life that I wasn't operating my business with before. And Tony helped me do that. So when I left Business Mastery and I came back here to my agency, from September to February, my team and I increased revenue 76%. Boom. The best feeling in the world was, this stuff works. It's changing our life. And as a believer, it was awesome to see. And then I said to my wife, like, our life looks pretty good. We have a significant chunk of change that we can scrape off the table as profit. But then, like a wildfire off in the distance that you see roaring towards you, a pandemic started spreading across the world. And by the time it hit North America and we scurried home, closed down our office in Scottsdale, Arizona, the next thing I noticed is that profit actually became our safety net. So we could secure our team, everybody that went to bat for the company and our clients over the last 6 months. And that safety net allowed me, and going to Business Mastery allowed me to be that peaceful, loving leader that held the torch during crisis, the leader I always wanted to be, but didn't know how to do it. And I got to do that. and transform my team. Look, the way that people make purchase decisions changed long before this pandemic hit. If you learn anything from me today, remember this, it'll change and transform your company immediately, because in the old business world, people needed salespeople to physically hold their hand and to move them through the sales process. But then sometime around 2004, the content marketing revolution took off. And before we knew it, we all got really comfortable going online, accessing information, going down our own rabbit hole. In fact, it became one of the joys of buying anything for B2B or B2C. We love the experience. And after years of having access to information on demand, buyer expectations changed. And by 2018, 82% of buyers, people we're all trying to sell to, said that they don't want to talk with a salesperson until they're ready to make a buying decision. Well, that just about changes everything for business. And for some people, this is just the great awakening COVID, where they're starting to realize that physical access to their prospects doesn't exist anymore. And my remote selling secrets that I've been teaching for the last decade are more valuable than ever, because remember this, access to prospects is going to be a challenge now and into the future. It ain't going back. Crisis always brings opportunity. We are in the middle of a doozy right now. Quickly, let's bounce through my life. I want to show you crisis, but I really want to show you the opportunities that we were able to create when confronted with it. I started off as up until I was 23 with really bad learning disabilities and attention disorders. By the way, this isn't a sob story. This is a triumphant journey I've been able to go through in my life, and a ton of limiting self-beliefs. But I got help from the SALT Center at the University of Arizona, the nation's leading academic support for students with attention disorders. And they taught me how to not only hack my attention, but hack the attention of a world that can't focus. In 1999, I was a talk show host on the #1 station in Arizona. I was on the radio 6 days a week. And I was also broke because I negotiated my deal poorly. So I started trailblazing in content marketing and search engine optimization. And before I knew it, I was going all over the country covering the biggest news. And my website was generating 36 million visitors a year on 0 ad dollars, and a career was born. iHeartRadio hired me to run digital for 7 of the largest nationally syndicated talk shows. I worked so hard that by 2008, I developed the next crisis, discovered I needed to have a heart procedure. And on the way to the hospital, I trained my wife in the car how to use my video camera so she could film my procedure in the operating room so we could educate people. Don't believe it? Watch this. This is a little love crosstalk between me on the table and my wife filming me. That crisis started me on creating the first video medical encyclopedia on the internet. By 2011, my stepmom was diagnosed with breast cancer and our family was destabilized once again. And in her honor, we seized opportunity, launched Breast Cancer Answers, because I already know the secrets to going viral online. And we started creating in year one, 1.1 million followers and some tens of millions of video views from patients all over the world since. And it prepared us for maybe the biggest crisis of our life, 2013, when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it shook us to our core. But fortunately, we already went through crisis. We already had all the answers. Crisis brings opportunity each and every time. You're going through one right now. And I'm going to show you in this webinar how to pivot to prosper in this new world. Which part of you is going to win 2020? Is it going to be the peaceful, loving leader that grabs the torch for your team and says, we're going this way and everybody's coming out safe the other side? Or is it going to be the frustrated leader, the one that lashes out at people, or maybe the lethargic one that's going to pack on the COVID-19 pounds? Who's it going to be? Because half the year got derailed. Which part of you is going to prevail? If you're going to make up for lost ground, you're going to need the tactics that I'm going to reveal. So let's grow. All right. Now, when I work with companies, what I notice is the team isn't rowing in the same direction. Like, people have oars and they're all going different ways. In this series, this webinar, I'm going to show you how to get your team rowing in the same direction. You'll be surprised how fast you actually get there. At Business Mastery, when you get in the room, Tony blew my mind when he taught 10-10-10 for compound revenue. I loved it. It was significant in our growth. And I teach something that is complementary to what Tony brings up, and it's how to compound your marketing and sales results.
For example, let's imagine you have a simple 4-step funnel. Here's what happens if you get just 5% more traffic, 5% better at converting leads, 5% better at booking sales calls, and close 5% more deals. I think we can all agree this is achievable. Now you see that extra at the bottom? That's because this isn't addition, it's multiplication. Here's why this is important. The bigger your increase is, the more steps you improve, the faster you experience compound growth. So if your website and sales process are already strong and you're mostly focused on building traffic, then you might target something like this.
So I'm going to hit you up with optimizations so you can do this. By the way, Tony's going to teach you about how business is really only about two things, marketing and innovation. And in this webinar, I'm going to flood you with both. When a company hires me and they bring me out, somebody walks out and they typically are like, hey, marketing boy, good to see you. Hey, can you do us a favor? Just pump us traffic. None of this optimization stuff. We're good. You just pump traffic and, well, why don't you just get to it? And when I start to dig in on their process, what I see are leads leaking out everywhere. Like, they don't need more traffic. They need to start doing a better job being more relevant or being more compelling or provide greater clarity. You see, Donald Miller, one of the business mastery speakers, will teach you that people are drawn to clarity and away from confusion. I love it. Let's talk about clarity today. His webinar is coming up on July 7th. And when you look at a sales process and you see confusion where leads leak out, the way you plug it is commonly with video because it provides massive clarity. You see, as we increase clarity, we optimize the effectiveness of your marketing and sales results, and it all starts to compound. So today I'm going to provide you with massive clarity. So why video? Well, people are 4 times more likely to watch video than to read text. We retain 95% of a message when we watch it in video compared to only 10% in text. And after watching a product or service video, prospects are 85% more likely to buy. Boom! Like, that's how we do it. Now, do you see what I did there? If you want to earn attention, use video. If you want to transfer knowledge, use video. Or if you want to convert customers, video is your tool for maximum impact. Now, what most businesses do is they provide a wall of text. And when their prospects come onto the website, just like when you are encountering a wall of text, what goes through your brain is this. It's like a shock, right? I don't want to do this. It looks like a lot of work. It creates paralysis analysis. It's terribly inefficient because when people go down through a website, what they really do, like if you're a nerd like me and you study researchers that put goggles on people and you watch their eye, the eye does this. They read a few words, like 4 words or maybe 5 words if they're feeling aggressive. They skip down the page. They find 4 or 5 more words. They get to the bottom of the page and they do what you do. They start getting shifty in their seat. They start getting frustrated and irritated, and they come up and they do the same thing you do. They bounce, skim, skip, bounce, gonzo. Today's prospects will not burn mental calories learning about your solution. In fact, when people come onto your website, they're actually pride themselves on being like hummingbirds. It is zip, zip, zip around your site, looking for information, and you can't sell to anybody who's in a hummingbird mentality. You got to actually slow down the universe. And the way that you slow things down is you optimize the experience by adding video. Visitors spend 88% more time on a website with video. Allow them the opportunity to learn from you. And today, I don't have a lot of time. I can only skim the tops of the trees for you. So please know, if I look down and I get too deep in the nitty gritty, I'm gonna get myself into time trial, and that's gonna be a problem. So instead, I'm gonna be brief, and you are just gonna bless me knowing that when we have more time, I'm gonna give you greater depth and even more clarity. Using video to achieve business mastery happens in 4 zones. These zones, as you'll discover, will be your strategy or your framework for your strategy. So let's dig in. Zone 1 is discovery, and that happens in most cases on social media. Now think about me today. I'm doing a webinar. Discovery's on social media because you're on Facebook in a Facebook group, but it's also a webinar. So webinar could be discovery also. I also have zone 2, which is your website. Zone 3 is the personalized use of video, and I've circled it because I want you to know it does not happen in chronological order after zone 2. It happens anytime your prospect experiences confusion or they have a lack of clarity, and your job is to use personalized video and sweep up to provide that clarity. More on that as we proceed ahead. And zone 4 is about supporting your clients that are already in your process, because as you will discover, like you're 70% more likely to sell to somebody who's an existing customer. So I'm going to show you how to pump up the jam on your existing customers. More on that when we reach zone 4. Salespeople. Salespeople are still the guides that develop relationships, that inspire prospects, that build beliefs and move prospects through the buyer's journey. My God, the beliefs that we as business leads have to transfer into our prospects' heads is remarkable. I'm going to show you how to speed that up. All right, here's zone 1. It happens on social. The location, that's the location. What you're doing there is being discovered. Who leads zone 1? Well, salespeople and marketing people can lead zone 1. The type of content, it's not the only type of content, but the type that gets the best results tends to be helpful videos. And the tools, you can use your phone if you're a salesperson or you're a business lead trying to engage, or if you're a marketing lead, you're going to want professional video, because that's what your business is going to have to center itself around in order to show quality. Now, zone 1's job, the whole purpose is the Sherpas, the salespeople, you're just supposed to drive traffic or drive your leads down to your website where they can book an appointment. But you know who gets hired today? It's not the person who's got the most experience. It's not the one with the longest resume. In fact, the person that gets hired is the one that shows the greatest willingness to help you get to your end goal destination. In fact, helpful is the new viral. When you're thinking about your videos, I want you to think in zone 1 about how can I provide massive value and be helpful. Helpful videos address common questions, concerns, or frustrations that your prospects are struggling with. Now, if you're in healthcare and you're in the audience, and let's say you deal with patients that are dealing with weight loss, right? Here are like your frequently asked questions. Every time a patient asks you a question, write it down, because those are going to be the helpful videos that you're going to come up with. And if you're in real estate or construction or consulting, create your own list of frequently asked questions and start creating helpful videos. I'll give you the script in just a second. But first, there are limiting beliefs that keep people from being gladiators with video, that keeps them from actually picking up their camera and creating it. Like I grew up with my attention disorders and learning disabilities, like limiting beliefs, like you wouldn't even believe, things that held me back for far too long. Like I'm not smart enough, or that girl won't like me because I'm not in the classes with the smart kids. I'm with all the slow kids, all that nonsense. The most common limiting belief with video in zone 1 is I don't like how I look. Well, guess what? I don't like how I look. In fact, none of us do. I don't even like my bangs. I'm waiting them. Should I wait for them to grow in before I start using video? Of course not. The opportunity to impact your life is a remarkable chance, and you have opportunities too. Don't limit it. The second limiting belief is I don't have an expensive camera. But the good news is you don't need one in order to be effective. The video that I placed inside of this business mastery group that I published on Friday is filmed with my phone. I did it on purpose. I want you to see what the quality is. It is good enough for where we are. Grab your phone, use what you got, and let me give you a quick tutorial. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to keep your camera at eye level. That's the most important thing. Don't shoot up at you. Don't shoot down at you. The lighting should be in front of you, not behind you. If you live in South Beach, congratulations, but don't put it in the background or your face is going to be dark and we're not going to get to see the unique elements of your expression that we all like to see when we're making relationships. When you're using your videos, show sincerity. It attracts people to you. Add massive value by being helpful. Show a willingness to be helpful all the way through, because that's the person that's going to get hired. And then know where your video is going to be posted. If you're going to be on Instagram, film like this. If you're going to be on LinkedIn or Facebook or on YouTube, film like this. Know your environment that you want to dominate, and don't shoot up against a wall. Like, that's all wrong. Let me talk about tonality real quick. The tone that's important for you is a tone that is soft. Look at this quick sample.
And then look right there into the camera and go ahead.
In this video, discover how we determine the valuation of your home.
All right, so David's using the tonality that isn't his natural tone. Dave, the tone he's using is like, for all of you who are old enough to remember Movie Phone, he's using movie. Hi, and thank you for calling Movie Phone. And instead, what I want you to do is dial it down, because the softer you are, more people want to lean in and develop a relationship, and always make eye contact with the camera, because that's how we develop relationships. Don't shoot yourself up against a wall. Nobody likes looking at videos that look like you're a police mugshot, like you're slammed up against the wall, scared or something. Don't do that. Give them depth. People crave depth. Now look at this. This is a bad day for Todd. I probably took 40 takes here, and I'm a trained broadcast professional. So when I go through 40 takes, don't get frustrated. Don't get irritated. Honor the process like a polishing stone tumbling down the river. Honor it, and know that repetition is going to allow you to make something beautiful at the end.
If you want to create with 300 million worldwide customers, Netflix, and the prompter didn't go anywhere. Next, to optimize your video for human consumption, you can use it to ice break news prospects.
Come on, Todd. Nobody should ever see your outtakes. You can hide them once every 3 months. You could drop a blooper video, but really the only thing that matters is that one gem that you drop that people see. Zone 1 discovery. I want to give you a script that you can use in Zone 1 for the rest of your career. The scripting format is called Problem, Agitate, Solve. And I've added plus CTA, which is call to action, okay? So I want you to address the problem, then agitate it, solve it, and then give them a place to go. Here it is. Here's the script. In this video, discover how to solve X, Y, and Z. And this is a problem because, and then agitate it. Agitate it 3 times, and what you're going to discover is people are going to start feeling frustrated. You want that frustration because you want to release the tension when you go to solve it. By the way, you'll know if you've agitated enough. If the viewer feels like they're sitting in a dirty diaper and they're getting frustrated and they want to move around, then you solve it, release the tension, and you can solve this by doing this, this, and that. And now the CTA. If you need more information, I've created a free blah, blah, blah. You figure out what that is. It's something of unique value that they want to go get for you. And just click on the link below in the comments section. Remember, the goal is to move people from Zone 1 to Zone 2 so they can get onto your landing page. I have a 24-hour challenge for everybody in the audience right now. I'm going to provide free coaching for you if you provide me with a problem, agitate, solve plus CTA video. You upload that video into your own YouTube page, select private, so it's not public, so the whole world doesn't see it, only me. I won't show it with anybody. And you can submit that to me at wirebuzz.com/BM, like business mastery. And that challenge starts right now. All right. Looking forward to digging in with you. How do you remember all this information, Todd? Like when people are talking to me and they're like, dude, I saw your video. How are you remembering all this stuff? Like, you don't know it right off of your big dome, right? How do you do that? Well, I use a teleprompter app, and that teleprompter app, here's when you should use it. If you're not comfortable on camera, if you need to provide specific messaging, or if you have data or stats to communicate, that is the perfect time for a teleprompter. Now, I use this app. It is basically $12, right? Let's just be honest. And here's what a screenshot of it looks like. Notice the script right here. I like to push the script as close to the camera as possible. And I like to put my eye on that camera. And the only part that I want you to read is the part that I just highlighted in green for you. If you go above or below, people will know you're reading. And we all do this. When we're watching a video and somebody's reading and you can see them going back and forth, you're like, that dude doesn't know this stuff. He's not legit. So just keep your words close to that camera and you'll be golden. Now, I want you to use subtitles to increase your influence. And the reason this optimization is important is because 85% of social videos are watched on mute. Like I've got a client who is the chief marketing officer for a billion-dollar tech company in San Francisco. And she confided in me that in boring meetings, she looks at tasty videos of yummy food that needs to go in her belly. Now, one of the things I'm excited about is she doesn't work here, because that would be a bit problematic, right? If somebody was doing that. Instead, what I want you to do is optimize for anybody. So I take my raw video, I give them the title, I upload it in Splashio. And then 24 hours later, they take my title, they add the transcripts. Even if I don't send them the transcripts, they will do that. And Splashio is the easy button. Splashio.com/Todd is where you can get more information. Now, let me give you an optimization between zone 1 and zone 2. In zone 1 is discovery, as you know, and by adding a link inside of your post, you're going to decrease or downgrade your exposure. So think about this. Your exposure is going to be downgraded. So I only want you to add comments, links in your comment section. And in doing so, you will optimize it. All right. Now, you know what the goal is. Zone 1 is to move people to zone 2. Let's get into zone 2. It's all about having a journey page, a funnel, a landing page. It doesn't matter what you call it. There are a lot of names in this industry, but the page syntax aligns with the visitor's context. And the more that you can align that, the better off you're going to be. All right. So let's proceed ahead here. Let me give you the lowdown. This is the Wirebuzz momentum method. And our nerds inside this office, they really are nerds. They specialize in the momentum method. So from the top of the page, what does this target audience care about today? That's the first thing you have to do. Massive alignment at the very beginning before you talk about your product. Then in that same golden area, what is the real problem that you solve? Followed by, what are the competitor options and why are they inferior? Got it? You have to, in this world where 82% of your prospects don't want to interact with a salesperson, you've got to talk about your competitors on your website, but do it in a classy way. Now, I know a lot of you are saying like, Todd, that doesn't make sense, dude. Like, I don't want to talk about my competitors on our website. The reality is your salespeople have already been doing the dirty work since the beginning of time. And now the transition has taken place. So you have to make sure that that information is available. And then and only then can you talk about why your solution is the best. All right. Now, what's important here is these spots, you have these 2 spots, 3 and 4, this spot right here where I'm pointing to, that is where a testimonial video from that persona lives, because it bridges them from the competitor, why the competitor's solution is inferior to why yours is the best. All right. And then and only then, by the way, when we have more time, I'm going to teach you the anatomy of a perfect customer testimonial story, because customer testimonials have the highest conversion rate. And it's important you realize how to use a story to your advantage. Story is the glue that binds your prospect's attention into your solution. When more time is available, I'll teach you how to do that like a boss. Then once you've addressed why your solution is the best, then you talk about what are the lingering questions or doubts that need to be knocked down before they act. And just above that, you put a next steps video, an implementation video. Like, if you understand why our competitors aren't good and why we're the best, here's what next steps look like. Got it? Good. Now, do you see the video at the very top right there? That's an overview video. So what's the script for that video? All you have to do is know points 1 through 5's the skeleton, and that's the video skeleton. It's like what you're going to accomplish, because if people are 4 times more likely to watch your video than to read text, you better do a good job letting them know what's coming up, right? Now, let me give you the architecture of this page. At the very beginning, it needs to be personal and relevant. The video, you've got 3 videos on this page. You already know them. The photos need to be hyper relevant. So if you're in real estate and you're dealing with out-of-towners, make that photo relevant to that audience. So if it's for buyers, the photo should be about buyers and not be about sellers, because the more relevant the photos and the syntax of the page is, the better their attention span, the better their focus, the better your conversion, the better your ad dollars, everything. You're going to wrap this page with tracking. The tracking allows you to know who's ready to buy now. We'll dig on that in a moment. And also you need a call to action or several on the page. Your CTA moves them to schedule a meeting. Zone 1, you know, is helpful content. You're going to move people over to zone 2. Are you guys all following? If you are, please in the chat box, let me know, because I want to make sure that you get this. It'll change the trajectory of your business. So in zone 2, when somebody comes through this page, they're going to go through and watch these videos. You're going to retarget them, meaning staying in front of them, just like when you go and look at shoes on Amazon and then it follows you around on CNN or Fox News. See, I just went bipartisan there, or on ESPN for sports fans. When sports comes back and these ads pop back in, you bring people with reminder content back to your site. Now, this brings me to Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. Dude is the GOAT. But what is it? He's not physically the greatest. Like, there's like 100 guys in the history of football that are physically more gifted than Tom Brady. What he does, look at him, he's pointing at the defense. He does what great salespeople do on a daily basis. They change the play based on what the opposition presents them. And so in this new world where remote selling is going to be a game changer because you can't physically get in front of people, you got to change the play in order to get an advantage. Let me show you how this is done. Each company should have a playbook. These are plays that your marketing, your sales, and your events teams run at the right time in the right scenario. By the way, what are plays? Plays are just replicatable patterns that create a desired outcome, right? So let's start creating some plays. If you're in construction, you got to run the right play at the right time. If tomorrow you're going to be meeting with somebody about their commercial project and you want to bid on it, you should send them before a video, a page, a customer journey page with videos. And then if, like, let's say the next, you just went out to dinner with your spouse and you ran into somebody that wants to build their home and it's a new project, what you do is after that chance encounter, you follow up. Hey, Jerry, it was great talking with you tonight at the local bistro. Here's our new home builds that we do. Get them prepared, speak their language, align with the syntax. And you know what you're gonna experience? They're gonna be on second base. When you're ready to meet with them, they're gonna understand. They're gonna know, like, and trust you, which is gonna tee up the sale. Hey, let's say you're a realtor and you're here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and you notice that there's a lot of people from Canada and you wanna be a specialist for people in Canada. Create a page for the Canadians, eh? And then before you talk to them, send off the page. So now they have the play. Send it to their phone or to their email. And before you know it, they're learning about what makes you special for out-of-towners. Vidyard is the best video player in the business, allows you to track on the back end. If you want more information on Vidyard, I'm going to show you some of this, but vidyard.com/Hartley is my landing page there. And Vidyard allows you to spy on your prospects, which is basically unleashing the holy grail for your prospects. Like, it's a lot of fun for our company. We used to have a 9-week sales cycle before we started spying on the back end and knowing who's interested in us. We started using video to advise our sales team on who to prioritize. And before we knew it, video decreased our sales time by 66%. Boom! Optimizations the whole way changes the game. Now let's go in and look on the back end and see what you see when you're looking in the back end to see how somebody's engaging with your videos. You'll see here that this person watched 98% of this video. This is one individual inside of the CRM. Right here is the 80% mark. In our office, if somebody goes past the 80% mark as a prospect, we get it to our phones. We know about it. Our clients are the same way, and it fires off a tripwire email that says, John from this company just crushed 98% of a video. The people that stay longer past the 80% mark, they're buyers. So only follow up with the people that are showing and demonstrating attention span, which is, in this new world, the digital body language of a buyer is attention span. Now let's get into the personal use of video. And in the personal use of video, this you see that gap right there between zone 2 and 3? This is actually, it doesn't happen in sequential order. Personal videos for salespeople, anytime they experience a red flag, So what's a red flag? I'll dig into that in just a second for you. And remember, you're going to sweep up. You're going to use your phone, you're going to use a teleprompter app, or you're going to use Soapbox by Wistia, which I'll share with you in just a second. Now, sales reps that use video in prospecting and relationship building, in sales emails have a higher open rate and higher open to reply rates. Boom! Optimizations are everywhere for you. And before you know it, like the funnel I showed you, deals start falling out at the bottom of the funnel. But personalized video isn't just for icebreakers and follow-ups, because 75% of late-stage prospects who receive a personalized video become closed deals by the end of the quarter. It changes the game. When somebody's down here, continue to provide massive value, be helpful, nudge them along, and you will see amazing things happen. Now, here is a show and tell video that I use in Soapbox. You'll see red flags and sweeping up. This is when you do it. I put myself on camera. I put my slides. The reason you want to be on camera is people do business with people they have relationships with. So you always have to be in the business of developing relationships. You make eye contact, you show and tell and walk them through your proposal. And the reason is they're not going to be able to explain your proposal with the same level of clarity, excitement, and energy that you do. In fact, in most cases, the people that you're competing against for the job are going to send a PDF. And that's a really low success rate tactic. I'll show you how it's done. When I'm done creating a video, a show and tell, like this is exactly the screenshot from Friday. The one I sent to a client before I went out the door, before I went to happy hour with my wife. Or you can text message it over to them. And in a moment, I'll show you how to do that and get into text messaging with your prospects. You see, I want you to prioritize text messaging at every opportunity. And the reason is email is a low success rate tactic because only 20% of emails will get open over the lifetime. And candidly, that ain't good enough. Not if you're going to be a gladiator and make up for lost time. You better start optimizing. If you text people, 98% of text messages will be read within 2 minutes. All right. So I've got a client up in Canada, and this client, here's how I do it. Before I sent the proposal, I realized that their review committee, people down the hall are going to get a PDF and they're going to sift through with the 10 other vendors. And that just isn't going to work for me because there's no way that my internal champion at my prospect's office can explain me the right way. So instead, what I did is I used this app, which I'm going to demo for you right now. I'm going to walk you through the steps, and then I'll show you how she reacted. Oh, gotcha. You guys don't have my audio, so give me a second, and I will dial this thing in. By the way, this is a great time for anybody. This is where my radio broadcast experience comes in. For anybody that would like to submit in a question, please go ahead and do that. There's going to be a time for questions. We're all making significant progress together. So let's get that. Get questions in the chat box, and let me show you how I create this soapbox video.
I turn on the web camera. I simultaneously record myself with anything I visually want to show, like my PowerPoint. I select between the cameras of showing myself only, myself and the slides, or just the slides. I trim the edges, upload, and send.
Boom. Just that easy, okay? Now, I send it to my prospect, and within 5 minutes, I got this back. You rock, thank you. I normally, when I send a personalized video, I get back some form of expression of love, which is a win, right? That's who people end up doing business with, the one that's the most helpful. And then on the back end, because I'm helpful in a spying kind of way, I went and looked at all of her internal committee that's going to review me. And I started to see they were watching 98% and 99%, 93%. Yo, these are buyers, right? So I started getting excited in my office because I know what buyers look like. And within 2 hours of me sending that show and tell proposal video, I got the next text message. Your video sold them, totally made my job simple, so awesome. I will be sending you a contract in a couple of minutes. Yes, that's how it's done. I optimized the process. I stood out from everybody else and won the deal. You should be doing the same thing. Soapbox by Wistia cost $300 a year. And it was a $200,000 deal that it helped me win the very first time. I like that ROI. How about you? For zone 3, you use a personalized video. Anytime you see a red flag and you want to sweep up. So let me give you the times to use it. An important question is asked. Typically, I look at an important question like the prospect is on a lily pad, and if I don't answer that effectively, they're not going to bounce to the next step in the process. So anytime they ask an important question, answer it in video, follow up with them. Anytime they need more clarity, whenever the key decision maker is not on the call, red flag, you should know. How about this? When they say, I'm going to take this to my team, red flag, send them a video. Or my favorite one is when you hear yourself say, they're just not smart enough to get what we do. Whenever you hear they're not smart enough, that's your job. Responsible communicators own the message all the way to how it is received. I learned this from Tony Robbins over the years. Be responsible, control the communication all the way to where it's ingested properly. They start nodding and they say the magic word, yes. Awesome. Let's get to zone 4. Zone 4 is supporting your clients through your process. It's for marketing teams to ritualize the experience that a client goes through who's already said yes. When you start onboarding, when you want to introduce them to your internal process, when you want to tee up the next sale, you can use all the tools that I've already trained you on. And here's a really good example. The reason you need to do this is you're 60 to 70% likely to sell to an existing customer, compared to only 5 to 20% likely to sell to a new prospect. And if you start cross-selling and upselling, if you don't do that, you're going to leave an enormous amount of money on the table. But if you do start doing it, you are going to turn your funnel into an ATM machine. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a chiropractor. You got somebody that's about to start phase 1. Boom. Send them off phase 1, the consult. Here's what the consult's going to look like. Remember, when I had my heart surgery in 2008, the thing I was the most scared of was what the room's going to look like. And then the next thing I was most scared of is what's recovery going to be like? And how soon am I going to get home? Ritualize it. People will bless you with more work. So let's say they finished the consult. They're about to start phase 2, the treatment plan. Send them off the treatment plan journey page. Send them off the video. And maybe they're about to come to the end of the treatment plan. Send them off the next step, the maintenance plan, upsell, tee it up, put the next deal right on the tee so you can smack a home run. If your year got derailed, which it has for all of us, you can still prevail. You really can, but you have to use the tactics that I used to help you convince and convert faster. It helped me increase my revenue 76% and spring forward so I could be the type of leader that I want to be. Remember, access to prospects will continue to be a challenge. You deserve the opportunity to change more people's lives, and you can transform your business and change the trajectory of your career and your company if you start selling the way people prefer to learn. Let me give you an example here. People who need to lose weight, they go see a dietitian. The dietitian gives them a long list of things they shouldn't eat. The people that succeed, they take massive, decisive action. Those that don't, they look at that list and they're like, yeah, I'll cut fries out of my life. Don't need those. And then 6 weeks later, they're pissed they haven't lost any weight. You know it's true. I want you, if you are going to compound your results, you need to optimize each step through the process. By the way, would it be helpful if I showed the video that didn't play audio before? Would that be helpful right here? Or should I'll provide that little tutorial inside of the Business Mastery group for you. I'd like to have more time to answer questions. I want you to resist the temptation to only optimize one zone. Instead, I want you to plug leaks, plug all the leaks, add clarity all the way through the process to each of your 4 stages. Because when you do that, the path to success really starts first with taking massive, determined action. The big guy teaches this. It's for a reason. Massive action is what it's going to take. Hey, let me go through this real quick. This is actually your video marketing success framework. Resist the temptation to just do social and think you're going to be okay, because you're going to discover leaks everywhere and it's going to be a big disconnect in your strategy. Do all of these, connect it, rally your team. Remember, zone 1 is all about moving traffic, being helpful, moving them to a complimentary like page by the same type of person you're trying to sell to, persona or avatar, however you want to say it. Move them to zone 2 so they could go on their journey and learn from you. Zone 3, whenever you experience red flags, confusion, you think they're dumb. We all do when we're going through a sales process. Sweep up, add value, paint the picture, show and tell. Put your slides on the screen so they can actually see what you are telling them. And zone 4 is ritualizing your existing process so you can tee up the next sale. That is how it is done. If you need help through each of these 4 zones, I'm happy to help you. My team would. I'll give you some ways to get a hold of us. By the way, that wirebuzz.com/BM is where you can submit for help, but it's also the same exact spot for the 24-hour challenge, which is actually less than 24 hours now. Submit in your problem, agitate, and solve format. All right. And when you do that, upload it to YouTube, to your own YouTube channel. Don't make it public. Make it private. Select that. Send it over to me and I will go through this. And the last time I did this for a Tony Robbins group, they buried me with videos. Bury me. Take me up on the challenge. Seize the moment. And if you need my slides, you want your video reviewed, or you need hands-on support, wirebuzz.com/BM is your one-size-fits-all landing page for this event. But wait, there's more. Look, Scottsdale, Arizona is my hometown. I am super honored to have you guys come to Scottsdale. If you download my slides, I will also include my favorite restaurants. I'm a foodie in my favorite city in the entire world. And my favorite getaway destination. Entrepreneurs, you know, when you are at wit's end and you grab your bug out bag and you jump in the car and you go out of town an hour and a half north, is Sedona, Arizona, the greatest place in the world. And I also include my favorite restaurants there, including where you can dine at Oak Creek. All of that is in your slides, wirebuzz.com/BM. And we look forward to seeing you at Business Mastery in August at the Phoenician. I will do a morning where I take people up and hike Camelback Mountain right in the back. We will do it at sunrise. It'll be epic, and stay a couple days extra. Drop out at the pool. My wife and I will be there. We'd love to meet you guys. We are going to have a ton of fun in Scottsdale, Arizona. And that is how you become a video master, how you use the power of video to hook your prospects' attention, how to prioritize follow-ups and shorten your sales cycles. This, for me, was a whole lot of fun. Neil?
Todd, that was epic, bud. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. There was a ton of value. We've got a ton of questions from Facebook. I'm curious if you could stick around for a few minutes and answer. All right, so I got to start with, though, I think we all want to know, though, what is the bug out bag? That sounds pretty epic, brother.
I don't, give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to think through this and stop sharing my screen, but it's not giving me that option. Stop sharing. There it is. Oh, you know, when you're on radio, you always interview these people that are prepared for crisis, and they always tell you to have a bug out bag. And a bug out bag is how you bail out of the city and get prepared.
Nice. All right, I'm going to bring mine to Scottsdale for sure. But rolling up our sleeves, I think people are most interested in your 24-hour challenge. I know you and I have spoken about this a lot.
Yes.
The hardest thing to do, the hardest action to take is shooting that first video. So we just want to thank you for putting up that 24-hour challenge. How long, the number one question is, how long should a video be?
Yeah, it really is. It comes up all the time. In fact, Neil, it's like, I get asked this question 6-7 times a day, dude. It's so often that I giggle when I hear it come up. I want to bounce people through. It's not an amount of time. It's not like 87 seconds. And I know, Neil, I know people tell me, they're like, just tell me the number, man. I don't want to know all the mumbo jumbo, but here's what you have to do if you want to be a master. There's a lot of things to keep in mind. Like, what's the goal of the video? By the way, there are all different types of videos. There's 6-second teasers. There's a 15-second small like commercial teaser. There's a traditional 30-second. There's a company overview video that could be 3 minutes or 4 minutes. There's webinars like we're doing that's like 45 minutes or an hour and a half. There's Facebook Lives. There's like, the last thing I should do is take all these different types of videos, average them up and give somebody an answer. That's not going to help anybody. So any marketer that's going to tell you like, dude, 87 seconds, that's wrong. Instead, what is the goal of the video? Who is the audience? You got to know that. And then what's the story that you need to tell? Stories are the glue that binds your prospect's attention into your solution. So you got to, once you know what story you got to tell, then you know the video has to be long enough to achieve that goal and short enough to keep everybody engaged. And that's typically the way I look at it. So resist the temptation to say to yourself, like, let me give you an example. Like people will ask me, they'll be like, aren't shorter videos better? Like I always hear that. Shorter videos are better. And even people that come into our conference room, they want to argue with us at the beginning, but we do 3,000 videos a year here. And the answers of how long a video should be is really in the analytics. And the longer the video is, more people are likely to buy. Facebook says, here's what Facebook says about video length. Make longer videos that engage people and inspire them to watch to the end. We prioritize videos that are 3 minutes or more and inspire people to continue watching. But what about YouTube? Like YouTube says, quote, we focus on those videos that increase the amount of time that a viewer will spend watching videos on YouTube. That violates conventional wisdom, but like anything in your industry, typically conventional wisdom is wrong. Let me take it one step further. How about the average length of a video on the homepage that got prioritized on YouTube? The average length of a video ranking on the first page of YouTube is 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Wow. Let's not worry about how short the video is. Let's communicate the right message. Like Tony's the greatest long form content creator of all time. And that gets us, Neil, can I do a thing about attention span? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. As I mentioned at the beginning, you guys, I struggled my whole life with attention disorders. Like I was a total mess. And because of all the support my parents gave me and the University of Arizona, I hear this come up all the time. Yeah, people have short attention spans. That's why we should make these things shorter. But look, we all have Netflix. 158 million Americans spend almost every non-working hour destroying their couch watching Tiger King or something dumb, right? So Netflix is the example that if you're interested, you will pay attention. The key is to make these videos personalized and relevant, on demand and binge worthy, and you can pull people all the way through. So when I work with students at the University of Arizona, people that have attention disorders, what I've discovered is, just like me and just like clients, attention is selective. Like when I'm working with a student, I'll say to them, Neil, I'll go like, hey, what's your jam, dude? Like, what's your deal? Like, do you like Minecraft? Or do you like play guitar? Like, where do you spend your time? And what I normally find is they get excited, they tell me, and then what they're into, and I'll go, well, how long could you spend on Minecraft? Like, can you sit there all day? What I've discovered is they don't have an attention problem. They have an overabundance of competing options for their attention. So marketers, the limiting belief that marketers tell themselves is, well, yeah, but our prospects have short attention spans. The reality is marketers need to do a better job. They need to up their game, tell more compelling stories, be more interesting and relevant. And before you know it, people will go all the way through your material. In fact, Marketo, which is a $1 billion company, they have a 4-minute demo on their homepage. I mean, look how thrilled I am at this day at work. Don't I just look miserable at work? But when I dug into their global head of marketing, he told me this. He said, Todd, our 4-minute video increased the conversion rates by 1,100% and increased the speed at which new leads became marketing qualified leads. Neil, all we're trying to do is optimize the path to yes. And if you can do that in a video, and you can move people to the next step, which the whole goal is, what is the next step? Let's move them there. You're already getting yourself teed up to get the sale.
Todd, that's beautiful. And so many powerful takeaways from that. I think attention span occurs in nature, in our business world, in our sales world. I believe it shows up as rapport. right? And so the same question exists, like how long does it take to establish rapport? How long does it take to earn somebody's trust and respect? The answer is as long as it takes to earn their trust and respect. So I love this because you're mirroring that in video. It's a quality question. Thank you for submitting that, a quality answer. And for those of you that have been to any of Tony's events or seen an intervention, same thing, right? How long does it take for Tony to turn somebody around or to provide a breakthrough? As long as it takes to earn that rapport, to have their attention, so you've earned the right to provide the solution and get to your outcome. Love that. Do you have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this one came up a lot in the Facebook as well, Todd. When should you post content? Are there days and times in social media that are best?
Okay, so here I go again. I'm a violator of conventional wisdom. I have my favorite time. I like to do it in the morning. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I want to make sure that I'm affecting people in New York City on their commute. I'm an early bird. I go on my morning run before the sun comes up, and that allows me to hit a 8 a.m. or a 7 a.m. window. Oh, not a 7 a.m. East Coast window. That's too early for Todd. But it allows me to hit an 8 a.m. window. And my second group that watches my content the most on LinkedIn are people from New York City. So I use that. I like to post another when is like, I want to be top of mind, Neil. I want to be there whenever somebody goes on LinkedIn or on whatever social network, because I want them to say, and this happens to me almost every time I'm out. They're like, dude, you're like everywhere. You're like blowing up. Like, who doesn't want to do business with somebody that has demonstrated that they're blowing up? And one of the ways you do this in this world, like in the old world, you'd run commercials. And when you'd sit down and watch All in the Family or something, you'd start to see these commercials pop up. But now, if you can stay top of mind, be consistent 5 days a week, crush your videos. Like I coach people to do these videos and to spit them out quickly because you got a business to run. And you can't be crushing and creating videos all day when it takes you 45 takes like it sometimes takes me. But you get yourself in this repetitious pattern, and before you know it, maybe 5 days a week, I think is a great way, because you got to stay top of mind. So the next time your prospect says, who's that person that could do that? Oh, I know who it is. It's Todd, right? You got to be in that cycle, but that takes consistency.
That's awesome. I love that, Todd. Consistency. And if there's anything I've taken from this entire valuable talk and the help that you provided our organization is to take action. Everybody go ahead, shoot that first video, take action, because all the questions that Todd's answered, if you follow him here, he's making decisions based on the feedback and data he's getting from his clients. How long should the video be? As long as it takes to establish rapport. What are the best times to post videos and such? And he's making those decisions based on what the marketplace is telling him, not deciding ahead of time in some vacuum. So go ahead, take that action. I'm sure that first video will be a little bit uncomfortable. It's only going to Todd. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah. It's going to feel rough for you. Don't worry about it. Honor the process, and you will be surprised the amount of value that I provide you back that takes your video to the next level. Make sure you take me up on this challenge. Just make my week miserable with all these videos to go through. I will love it because I get the honor to give back and to serve all of you, which is what I absolutely love.
It's awesome. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for adding so much value. We'll see you at Business Mastery in Scottsdale. Now, don't go away, guys. We're super excited. You know how Tony rolls, and this is our first webinar together. He wanted to add even more value for you today. So if you've got a few more minutes, can stick around another 10 minutes or so, I'm pleased to introduce Tyler McBroom. And Tyler is the CEO and managing partner of Measured Results, a CPA firm that is part of Tony's Global Accounting Alliance. Tyler helps us and business owners keep more of what they make by lowering their largest expense, their taxes, dramatically, by a lot. He'll share with you here in a few minutes how. So Tyler's going to add a ton of value for you over the next few minutes, and he has a special gift for those of you that stay till the end, and you can leverage this gift to help self-fund or take care of your business mastery investment. I'm pleased to introduce Tyler.
Thank you, Neil. And I'm so excited and honored to be here. Really appreciate you having me on and Tony bringing me on. So let me get and I just want to, while I'm loading up my screens, just give a shout out to Todd. That was an awesome presentation. And We've been using video more and more over the last couple of years, and it's transformed our business. So I just want to echo that. So yeah, we're here to discuss kind of our tax assessment process. And before we do that, I just want to share with you, this is my family. They're my why. And I think that it's important for us to all have a why. And so when I get up in the morning and I'm working towards adding more and more value to my clients and building a business, it's for these 4 humans, well, 3 humans in addition to myself right here. And so hopefully you have that mission for you and for your business, because I know it adds that much more meaning when you're putting in through these challenging times right now. So when I was kind of talking through this tax assessment process with Tony, he said to me, Tyler, here's the thing. Everyone gets a second opinion on important areas of life. If you've got a medical issue that you're coming up on and you want to figure out how to best address it, usually you talk to a couple doctors. If you're about to buy a house, you shop around for a couple different mortgage rates. If you're making a major purchase or renovating your home or anything really that moves the needle in your life, you're usually getting a second opinion on your taxes. And then he said to me, but Tyler, what I've seen across the board in these years of doing business mastery is that no one ever gets a second opinion on their taxes. And this was one of the chief reasons that Global Accounting Advisors was created, was to not only help business owners know where their money's going, but also to dramatically impact, as Neil mentioned earlier, taxes is often a business owner's largest expense. And so it's crazy that no one's taking any action on figuring out how to lower it. Because one of the biggest benefits of being a business owner is there's 2 tax codes in the United States. One of them is the employee tax code. You get to deduct your mortgage interest and write off your charity expense. And then there's the business owner tax code. And that is something that you could put in front of your chest, literally, and someone could stand across the room and shoot a Colt 45 at you, and it wouldn't pierce the tax code because it's so complex that there is that much strategy that you could potentially take advantage of. And nearly every business owner, because of this, is overpaying on tax. When we meet with business owners, and we meet with them anywhere from 30 to 50 times a week, new business owners, over 95% of those business owners are overpaying on tax. And usually it's by a pretty significant amount. So here's one quick example. So this is a rule known as the Augusta rule that a lot of our clients take advantage of. And it's a rule that says if you own your home, so you can have a mortgage on it, but you're just on the title. So it's your principal residence. You can rent your home up to 14 days a year, totally tax-free. So what that's meant for is, let's say you're going on a trip out of town for a week and you want to get part of your trip paid for. So you put that home up on Airbnb. Well, as long as you rent it out for less than 15 days in a calendar year, that rental income is tax-free. So what we have our clients do is we have them hold a monthly shareholder board meeting at their house and rent it out to their corporation for, let's say if their home's worth $500,000, you do $500 a meeting times 14 days a year is $7,000 tax-free. And, that's not a huge amount, but it beats a poke in the eye with a stick. And those little things can add up over time. And so, just doing those little things can have a massive impact on your bottom line. And so here's a couple other examples. So these are just a few different initial tax assessments that we've done just over the last couple of weeks. So there's an HR company that had $200,000 of income. We ran them through our process and saved them $40,879. An engineering firm had about $184,000 a year in income. They saved also over 40 grand. A physical therapy company with $210,000 of income saved right around $13,000. And then a furniture shop that had about $400K a year saved just under $50,000 in income. So, and these are across different income levels, different industries, just across the board. So how much might you be overpaying if you haven't looked at this in a while? So if you go to gaataxconsult.com, you can enter a few basic pieces of information that'll help us make the process more effective for you and make our time together more valuable, and get a free tax assessment. And what we'll do is we'll review your current situation, ask you a few questions, and determine where you might be overpaying. And our average savings on that is about $25,000. As you see, sometimes it's more. We've had some clients where we meet with, and it's $1.5 million that we saved them in the first meeting. Now, you got to be making some pretty good money to save $1.5 million off of one meeting, but the average savings is around $25,000. So as Neil mentioned, that could more than pay for your business mastery investment just in a quick half-hour call. And you won't pay a dime until we've actually uncovered and concretely dug in and found those savings, and then started implementing those savings. And so before we go, and then I'll throw up the link again, but back to my family. I just want to share with you all, if you'll indulge me for a few minutes, a quick story. So this is my family. We were up at Lake Tahoe a couple of years ago. My daughter, Sadie, she was 4 at the time. She's actually going to be turning 6 tomorrow. And so we were up in Tahoe, and during that little window of her life, she was waking up very early every day, about between 4 and 4:30 a.m. So to Todd's point, the 7 a.m. Eastern time, I even though I'm out in California, I could actually access those people because my daughter was getting me out of bed every morning. But during the normal course of everyday life, getting up between 4 and 4:30 is awesome because it gets me some time with her. We got to really connect, get a workout in before workday starts. But when you go on vacation, you kind of don't necessarily want to wake up between 4 and 4:30 every day. But a 4-year-old doesn't understand that. And so about 2 or 3 days into the vacation, she comes in, and sure enough, check the clock, it was 4:15. Daddy, I want to wake up. I want to play. And I really, really wanted to hit the snooze button and roll over and keep sleeping in. But you can't hit the snooze button on a toddler. So I crawled out of bed, got my cup of coffee. We ended up going for a walk along the water, and the sunrise was just absolutely spectacular that morning. And we created a really, really special memory. And it hit me all of a sudden. I said, you know what? If I'd have hit the snooze button this morning, we'd have missed this memory and this moment together. Mm-hmm. And I realized that so many times we hit the snooze button on the things that really move the needle in our life. And I can tell you, after working with thousands of business owners over the years, so many of them have said to me, I wish I would have met you sooner. And so many people hit the snooze button on taking action, on taking advantage of that massive tax code and lowering their tax bill. And I know, I'm a business owner myself. I know you're busy. And with all this COVID, these unprecedented times, it may seem like something that just gets put to the back burner, but please take advantage of this free tax assessment. Back in the 08 to 2010 crash, we had a couple clients tell us that our tax strategies, when they came over to us, was actually their largest source of income by changing things around because we brought so much more to their bottom line. And so during these times, it's that much more important to look at your taxes and take that money and reinvest it into growth or reinvest it into your financial future or your legacy. And so please, I'll pull that back up again, but please take advantage of this. It's just a half hour, a few questions, but just gaataxconsult.com. And you can sign up to meet with either me or one of my team members. And I really look forward to meeting you there and hopefully saving you some money and increasing your bottom line.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tyler. Appreciate you and appreciate, your gift to our business mastery constituents so that they can help themselves out during these most difficult times. And a couple awesome takeaways there from you. And I wasn't expecting this from you, but tying all of this to your why, right? Your ultimate driving force. Tyler showed us a picture of his family and what this is all about. And in these unprecedented times, we seem to get focused on, I need to increase my marketing. I need to get more leads. I need to, increase my runway. Whatever these business tactics are that you need, ultimately what's most important is that why behind this business. What is the ultimate driving force? So as we close here, a couple housekeeping pieces. Tony brings you one of the things that, for those of you that are new to our world, first time attendees in any of our program, Tony opens up his Rolodex for you and brings you his contacts. And both Todd and Tyler have contributed and delivered massive value on their own time and dime for you today. And the outcome is to not just sit back and receive this like you're watching a video or participating passively in a webinar, it's to take action on them, right? So Tyler's got this powerful assessment for you. It'll take you just a few minutes to do so that we can uncover some of these savings for you and money beyond your investment for business mastery and the things you'll learn and grow and do there. So the point being is hold yourself accountable, take advantage of these gifts from Tony. Also go back and highlight all of your notes. Take the top 2 or 3 things that you're committed to taking action on now. Todd's 24-hour challenge was a gift. People say the hardest thing to do is to take that first step and shoot the video. Not only are you going to shoot the video and send it to Todd, tell him what environment you want to use it in. If you're an entrepreneur, how you want to increase marketing. If you're a sales rep, how you want to get in front of prospects. So he can tune that up and build confidence for you so that you can go back and execute. Another thing is take the time right after you get off this, while your notes are still fresh, and write out your script for your momentum method. He laid out those 3 points so specifically and easy for you to do. And then in terms of shooting these videos and gathering data, understanding that attention is body language, right? Body language is your rapport and connection. So if you really want to unlock the value of these gifts from Todd and Tyler, go ahead and take notes on this now. Also be sure to come back to our Facebook group.